Hey YouTube, so we are going to hit the mud bog today, and this is what's going to be in the video. So Play Pond Path is the trail that leads up to the mud bog, and we'll be in the mud bog very shortly. Like I said, I did speed up the video in different places, and the mud bog is a shallow body of water that's relatively long, so it's a fun little thing to play in. I think if they had a mud bog at AOAA or Roush or somewhere we normally go, I would probably play in it a lot. So we at first he was going to put the window down, and then he decided just to leave it up to try to improve the video quality. So this is it here, and it is humongously long. So we cut right through it. He said that Jeeps go through that mud bog all the time, and they don't really have too much difficulty with that mud bog. So we stopped here to take a little break, and while we stopped here, the other machines with us decided to just kind of, play around a little bit. And this will give you a different point of view, so you can actually see the size of it. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it is nice to get the mask off for a little while, just to be able to breathe. Here's some more perspective on the size of the mud bog. And, obviously the side-by-side is smaller than a Jeep, but it's not, like, that much smaller. So you can see the rough size. And they're going around for a second pass if you didn't realize that, so you'll see them come back up again. So we're going to continue our journey. So we're going to continue our exploring of the Rock Run Recreation Area in Pennsylvania. And so this location is about 2 hours, roughly, east of AOA and Rash Creek, so it's in the direction of Pennsylvania. So this is the Rhino Loop. When I look at the map, I don't know why they call it a loop, but I'm sure there's a reason. Because typically loops, they're circular in nature, and it doesn't look like a circle to me. Like, it doesn't look like it connects with itself, but I could be completely wrong on that. Maybe it does connect somewhere. So this is a green trail, and it does feel like a green trail because it's not super tight and twisty. It does have a lot of water on it, or at least sections of it does. But, that's kind of a given. I mean, once you figure out where the water is in the park, like where a water trail is, usually a majority of the water in off-road parks is centered around, that one location. So, a good example of that is, if you look at AOAA, you have, Excelsior Swamp, and then all of the trails kind of, around it typically have some water on them. And the same could be said about Rock Run. You have mud bog, and then most likely a lot of the trails, essentially located around the mud bog, would probably also have a little bit more water on them than the other trails, because that's just the low point in the park where all the water is. So I would try to give out some technique on side-by-sides, but I don't really have any. And you can see right there I'm holding the camera, and even holding the camera, literally with my hand, it seems relatively smooth. Even though we also have the video sped up, but it seems smoother than I would have expected. Well, there you go. Now it's not smooth. I just had to say something. I I would say that this park probably reminds me a little bit more of Roush Creek than it does AOA if I just compare the two parks. And the park feels absolutely humongous compared to what I'm used to seeing in Virginia. I don't know how big it is in acres. I should probably look that up. So I can make a fair assessment. But I can tell you, like to go from like the X-Rock course to the campground, it was like 15 minutes of driving like on your roads. It was pretty hard to drive to get out there. So with where we are currently, if we were to just like turn around and probably drive like straight back to the campsite, it's probably a good like half an hour or so, like to get from like where we are to get back to the campsite. So we're back on Play Pond Road, and we're gonna take that down to Coyote Pass. Yeah, Coyote Pass. And I'm trying to be fairly accurate with these trail names. So then, if you do decide to come out here, you actually know which trails we're on, so you can see which trails, like look coolty and stuff. Because I hate it when you like watch a video and you're like, oh my god, that obstacle looks so cool, or like that trail looks cool, but you have no idea where it is. You just know like it's an AOA, you just know it's in Roush, you know it's at Revel, and you don't know how to get there. And even if you went to the office, you're like, can you get me to that rock next to that tree? It's like so indescriptive, like nobody would ever like know how to get you there. And even if you had a picture of it on your phone, like and you show it to somebody, most people when they see a picture there, they won't know where that is unless it's like very, very super well known. So I'm trying very hard to try to show off where we are or where we're traveling to, or the route that we're taking on the map. Now Eric did say, and I did notice that it did rain significantly the night before, so the rain is keeping the dust down in the park, which is really good, but it also means that we have a little bit more water than I guess is normally expected in this park. But I wouldn't say that this park is like just like a bone dry with like no rain typically. So there is another group in front of us. This is Cherry Run. It is a blue trail, and I think that Cherry Run is a pretty well-known trail, or one of the main trails for the side-by-sides. And I would say that probably out of all the trails that we were out here, I think that Cherry Run, to me, was one of the cooler trails. There were a lot of trails that were really fun, but I think Cherry Run, with this one right here that we're on right now, was very fun. I think it had to do with just the scenery and the fact that like it would go in and out of woods, and it had like some hills. It had like lots of little different types of obstacles. So we're just going to pause for just a brief little second to let that other side-by-side get ahead of us, and then we will move on. Alright, so here we go. And this is Cherry Run. So I've come to the conclusion that a small DOT helmet, like the one that I'm wearing right now that's borrowed, is something that I need to add to the trailer. So it's something that I just think that I should probably inherently carry around. That way, if we have the opportunity to like rent a side-by-side or rent an ATV, or the opportunity to go out with somebody, I have a helmet readily available to use. But I don't think I would get anything too terribly large or expensive. It just, so I have something so I can go out with them, and preferably something small and lightweight that, can be tucked away somewhere in the trailer to get. So I'm just thinking that would be one more thing in my arsenal that I should probably carry around. The other thing is in competitive rock crawling, which you've seen in like the X-Rock videos and the SLRC videos that we've seen on our channel. They want you to wear the helmet like if you ever participated in one, but I can't see us participating in that with the Gladiator. And you also have to wear one if you're the spotter. And I could see maybe if somebody asked me nicely, I could try to be a spotter. Like that wouldn't be something that I see that I wouldn't do. But that like I don't really have a big kind of feeling that I want to be a spotter. But you know, if somebody was in a pinch or something, I probably would be a spotter for them. If they couldn't find anybody else, I would spot for them. And I happen to be, like around and in the park or something like that. So you can tell this is a blue trail because it is much more kind of twisty and turny, and you have to get the speed right to fit between these trees. And this is the first time that I've filmed in a side-by-side, believe it or not. And after going through all this footage, I've come to the conclusion that basically you need to wipe down the camera like a lot, like a lot more than what I was. I was monitoring like what was on the display at the back of the GoPro, but I could not tell that like it was as dirty as it is now. So I think that basically I would have to like come to the conclusion that always wipe down the camera at the start of every single trail, and maybe even do it like in the middle of every trail, even if it doesn't look like it's dirty, just like do it anyway. But I would say it was a blast, and slowly but surely I'm getting less and less hungover, which is like a good thing. But I still was like hungover. Like right now, that would be a perfect time to like wipe down the camera. But like, I was looking at the monitor, it looked clean. So the rest of the video is going to be mostly connector trails to get to the next major trail that will be in the next video. So this is Oak Lane that we're on, and this is just like a connector, so to speak, to get places. I mean, it is a green trail, so I mean, I guess if you're a beginner, this would be something that would be super exciting. And then from Oak Trail, we are turning onto Short Lane. And you can see on the map where we're going. I mean, if you were, it's kind of spoils it because you can see where we're going if you look at the map and you know this park. So anyway, we are pushing to try to get our sub count up. So if you do like these videos and stuff, please subscribe. Like that would be very, very helpful to us if you could subscribe. And I know I should be mentioning that at the beginning of the video, not the end of the video, because usually people don't even hang around to the end of the videos. That's just the normal YouTube thing. So this is a last trail, long run road. So we will see you guys in the next video.